Okay, recording is on. Good afternoon, everyone. Jaguars, my name is Yasmin Hernandez, and I'm the career advisor here at the Mace Center for Experiential Learning and Community Engagement. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. Our mission for our student is to help you on your career planning. So we wanted to start developing some workshops on how you can interact, engage, and learn a different skill with our College of Business professors, with any professors across campus. And we brought this workshop to you where one of the high technologies right now is allowing us to do and manage a lot of data. So that was the key point behind creating this workshop for you. So I appreciate your attendance today. Some housekeeping reminders, please, as you're joining, or if you have any technical difficulties, you're exiting out and coming back, make sure you are on mute. We are giving space for you to have Q&A, so feel free to type those down. We'll have staff from the Mace Center monitoring that. So feel free to bring up your questions, and so we can give you answers for what you're needing for. Let's move forward. So the agenda for today will be, first of all, attendance. We'll be sharing the link on the chat a couple of times throughout the presentation. So you can track your attendance. If you're wanting later on, you have 48 hours to track your attendance for this event. You can scan the QR code that is posted in here, or you can go through your JAG Sync and submit your registration for there. Agenda for today will be some details about what is the Mace Center for Experiential Learning and what resources we have for you and how you can engage with us. What is Tableau, the software that we'll be doing today, and some demonstration that Professor Binaja will be sharing with you as well. We are going to have a discussion for faculty panel. So feel free again to write your questions down, and we'll be here to have that conversation with you and to help you understand why is it important to learn different skills in the market right now. We pass it down after that to Professor Binaja, where he's going to be doing a demonstration of the software. If you were registered ahead of time, you receive an email from me or Armando, which is on the call as well, about downloading the software and about any questions, registration that you may have with it. So that information was given to you. If not, do not go anywhere, stay with us, follow the software, and this recording will be available within 24 hours in case you want to come back and review the information. And then we'll pass it down to some Q&A questions. So for anyone that has a concern, a question, want to jump into the conversation, you're welcome to do that. So again, this is the panel for today. My name is Yasmin Hernandez, and I'm the career advisor right now for College of Business. I help every college. So if you belong to another college, you're welcome to connect with me. You're welcome to connect with anybody at the Mace Center. I help with professional developing and reviewing documentation, providing some networking events, some opportunities. I can help you with job searching and most and everything preparation for interviewing. So that's my background. We have on the table as well Armando and Alanis Flores. He's a Tableau ambassador, so he has a great experience connecting with others outside of the university. So he's currently completing his MBA program here at the university and serves as the financial literacy graduate assistant. So money, data, that would be Armando on the floor right now. And of course, we have the expertise of Professor Binaja. Professor Binaja has a PhD from business administration from Texas, University of Texas in Arlington, with over 12 years of experience here at Texas A&M San Antonio, with many, many graduate programs. I have the blessing, we'll say, that Dr. Binaja was my professor under my grad program, and I learned a lot, and that's where I became familiar with the software that we're going to demonstrate to you. So thank you, Professor Binaja, for being here with us. He has a very broad knowledge on softwares, and he's willing to spend some time with us and share that with our students. So what is the May Center, and how many of you guys here on this call have the experience with what we do and how you can connect with us? We have 3 areas in the May Center. One of them is career services, experiential learning, and community engagement. Those 3 areas, I highly encourage you to connect with us. We'll be helping you to move forward with your career goals, to assist you on resume reviews, career fairs, networking events. Experiential learning will give you the opportunity to have hands-on experience. So we offer internship grants. Financial literacy with Armando is one of the coaches for that program. We have community engagement. We want to develop our citizens. How can you come back to the community and serve your district, serve your school, serve your city? Plenty of volunteer opportunities. We have Choose Act Impact, which is one of the every semester event where we partner with the community here in San Antonio, different locations, and we go and do a day of service. So how wonderful that opportunity is for everybody. And we also have the civic engagement. We are a voting location at Temusa. We set up that during elections outside of the May Center. So if you haven't had an opportunity to know where the May Center is at, I encourage you that you go through our campus, and we are located in the Science Tech building, room suite 111. So you'll see the big glass doors in there, and that's where you can come and connect with us. So we look forward to share any of the resources with you. Now, you may say, what do I do with, I'm attending this workshop, how can I add this into my resume? We know the market is really moving, where what kind of skills you have and what skills can you implement in the workforce. So there is a place on your resume that you can add your experience, your knowledge of your skills. Some of the examples will be here on the screen. So I encourage you to turn back and review your resume and say, do I have Tableau experience somewhere on my resume? Do you have that resume experience? You have it ready? Is it separated in different skills? How can I implement that into my resume? And that's what we're here for, to help you out to implement that, to highlight some of those skills on your resume so you can get that job that you're wanting, so you can move forward with your career. That's our main goal right now, with sharing with you about what the software is and how data analytics is very important nowadays. We all saw that through this pandemic, how they're tracking their numbers, what programs are they using, how can I use that in the future, how can I implement that on my resume, how can I expand my training, how can I develop a different skill. So that's what we're here for, and that's how we partner with all the faculty across campus to bring and to create this kind of workshops so you can learn and turn around and implement it in the workforce. If you have any questions concerning our resume, how can I enter it? I don't know how to put it in. Reach out to the May Center. We would be more than glad to help you out to schedule an appointment or detail some of the data that you're going to need on your resume. And now I'm going to pass down the floor to Armando, and I want Armando to introduce himself and tell you the importance of Tableau. He is the Tableau ambassador, so he can give you a lot more information on it.
Thank you, Jasmine. And I apologize. When we got started, it booted me off, so that's what happened. But yeah, my name is Armando Alaniz. I'm a graduate financial literacy assistant at the May Center, but I'm also the Tableau student ambassador. And like Jasmine said, it's really important to consider how data plays into our lives and how it affects our career moving forward. And that begs the question, what is Tableau, right? And Tableau is simply just a visual analytics platform that just transforms the way in which we use data and solve problems. Now, some of the products are Tableau Desktop and Tableau Prep. The desktop version is what you get, or if you went through the registration process and didn't already have Tableau installed, you can actually install it and it's free because you're a student here at the university. But just as well, Tableau Prep is something that allows us to look at the data more closely and make the process a little bit more streamlined just as well. But overall, it's just a way in which we can use data analytics through this platform to make it clearer instead of just looking at rows and rows and rows and rows of Excel, because I know that it's difficult to make decisions when we have a lot of data like that being generated every single day. And the next question is just why Tableau? There's a lot of different data analytics or different platforms that are out there, definitely. And I know that at the university, if you've gone to the library desktops, you can see that we have a lot of different platforms available for students to use on campus and learn them. And the reason why we're just focusing on Tableau is because, again, it does have it's very widely used. So you can be talking about the airlines, just as well automakers or banking. It's widely used throughout different places, and that means that you can take those skills from one place to another and they'll still be useful. Also, there's a community. Everybody is really friendly and wants to give you answers and help you make connections to get inspired. Lastly, well, the third point is just the intuitive user experience. Some of the other platforms that are out there, you need to code into them, and that can be a little bit frustrating, or that can be also a little bit, folks might be shy to do that. And with Tableau, it minimizes that aspect to make it more user friendly. And lastly, again, it has the powerful analytics, so you can quickly move through the different tabs in order to create something that's going to have value. And lastly, which I think is really important, is as a student, it's free for you, so you don't have to pay for it and you can actually use it on campus. And if we can go to the next one.
Thank you, Armando, for that conversation that we had. Thank you for giving those details. Before we get into the panel discussion, I want to ask you this question. What about if any of the students in here join in this conversation, or if later on come back and do the watch the recording, how can you become a Tableau ambassador? What resources do you utilize to connect with and get this title?
Yeah, that's a good question, Jasmine. What I did originally is I was just browsing just Google, and that's how I found it. But frankly, if you Google Tableau ambassador, it'll basically take you to Tableau's page. And I believe you can put your email to get notified once they open the applications for the next cohort. And that's, again, a really great opportunity for you to learn more about it, but also to help out other students, not only the students that are here, but the other students on campus, to really learn more about a software that's really going to be useful in their lives. But the process is just, it's fairly straightforward. You do need your resume, which is good that we touched upon that. You also do have to write somewhat of a cover letter explaining the process, and then you kind of go from there. So it's almost, again, you're applying for this position, and I'm glad that we covered that first part, because it does, as you can see, factors into a lot of different areas.
Yes, and definitely this will be looking amazing on your resume to see how you had served and how you had grown into this community and learn all those skills to apply, to turn around and apply it back to the workforce. So thank you for sharing that. So now that we get to start with the panel discussion, we have Professor Binaha here, and we have Armando itself will be asking, I have a set of questions that I want to ask. And students are watching us right now that they're connected with us. Please take some notes if you have any questions. We appreciate you ask those through the chat box, and we'll have someone bring those questions when it gets time. My first question will be for Professor Binaha that is here on the call. What has been your experience and what effects had technology had made now in the workforce? What's your opinion on that, Professor Binaha?
Well, first of all, I apologize. My internet is acting weird right now. So I might need to stop my video if my audio starts breaking.
No problem.
Yeah, so let me just try audio by itself. Yes, well, I teach courses in computer technology, so I mean, I could only say positive things about technology, even if technology fails. Like right now, my internet is, is acting up. But even if you're not in information technology, you'll see that data analytics and data science are being adopted in many, many fields. Data analytics is used today, not just in the business environment, but there's data analytics for healthcare. Data analytics is used for engineering, is used for many, many disciplines. So you'll need at least a basic knowledge of data analytics, regardless of the field you're at.
Good, thank you for sharing that. Armando, what are your thoughts on how technology has, what effects that has been done in the workforce?
I think that during this time in the pandemic, we've definitely seen that firsthand. I think it's always been there, but we've seen how quickly we need to change, and everything just in the blink of an eye needs to go from person to virtual, how that impacts us. And I think that that's great that we can do that, because maybe in other settings in the past that wasn't possible. But also looking forward, I think that now that we have this new normal, it's going to definitely generate more data, and people are going to need to navigate new terrains that we perhaps didn't know how to do it before. I know previously I didn't really have a lot of understanding of Zoom, and now we're holding everything through Zoom because it's very, very convenient to folks. So I think that that's a really great, well, I wouldn't say this change has shown just how fast changes can happen, but also the need to be quick and agile to pivot.
Great, that's thank you. Thank you so much for those comments. Why do you think students should learn the data analytics, and how can they become more remarkable for the workforce? What are some of your opinions on this, Professor Binaha?
Well, data analytics is very popular today. There's great demand, as I said before, not just for data scientists, but for managers and professionals with a background in data analytics. Well, I mean, you already know that the amount of data is exploding in the internet, and all these technologies make more data available every day. And it's very important to be able to make sense out of all this huge amount of data. And that's what data analytics and data science is about. So many of these programs like Tableau and Power BI, they provide a very intuitive interface that makes it very easy to learn the basics of the software. Of course, data science is very broad, and some of the areas of data science require heavy knowledge in statistics, mathematics, and computer science. But I think there's room for everybody. I mean, if you're more on the managerial side, I mean, you're not into statistics and heavy math, I mean, there's software and applications that you can use to your advantage. So I think regardless of your field, getting a background in data analytics, it's a plus. It's something you can add to your resume, and many employers are looking for those skills. If you look at how universities and all educational institutions are offering degrees in data analytics, I mean, they're targeted for different types of professionals. I mean, there's degrees for business professionals. There's degrees for those that are more computer science oriented. There's even short certificate programs that take only a few months. But the importance of data analytics is very obvious today.
Yes, I'm glad you're mentioning that, Professor Binaja, because back a couple years ago, we didn't have a degree or certification on data analytics. So that's how the market has been changed, and that's how the workforce keeps moving, especially when we have to adapt and we have to move, pivot to continue growing in the market. So how can we learn that? Armando, what would be one of your, how can you share with students how to prepare or tackle some of the biggest trends in data as they start entering in the work market, in the job market?
I would say it's definitely taking advantage of the softwares that are available as students, because I know that, for example, not only Tableau, but as Professor Binaja mentioned, there's others that the university offers, like Power BI and such, that we can have access to while we're students, and that, let's say, if you were maybe a professional, you would need to pay for them. And so during this time, it's a really great way to kind of explore, learn more, and just kind of dive into it. And I think that the great thing about it to prepare is just kind of not overthinking it. I know for me, I've talked to students, and my personal experience, you just don't know how to look at it. How do I go about it first? And so there's a lot of faculty that are willing and really want to help out. So reaching out to them as a resource is really great, but also just there's a lot of videos available online to go off of it. I know, again, speaking for Tableau, there's the data literacy for all. So it kind of takes you through the basics so that you don't feel as shy at getting into it and putting your toes in, if you will, to learn a lot. So I think the main thing is just about, as students, looking at what all of the resources that are available, so that going out, you have a little bit of a taste and you've been able to kind of work through different softwares as well. So yeah, I think that would be it.
Yeah, great. Thank you for sharing that. I know as a fact with the student perspective, when you see data, you're a lot of us are very nervous about how can I rearrange that? How can I fix this? We see Excel, accounting majors, finance majors, and we see all the data with Excel, and we get into a panic mode a lot of times. So there's a lot of training out there. There's a lot of resources for students that they can get. You can reach out to faculty, and faculty will be more than glad to share with you what was available through the university, like you said. So I want to ask Dr. Binaja, what is that piece of practical advice that you will give to someone that is learning, or they're a beginning learner for data analytics? And if we can jump with you, Armando, it seems that we'll get back to Professor Binaja on that. What would be one of your practical advice that you would give to someone that has no clue, has never touched the software? Not only this software, Power BI, there's plenty of other softwares that are available through the library. What would be that practical advice that you would give to them?
I think on campus, just maybe reaching out to the professors and just letting them know what is it that you're trying to do. And I know going to the office hours, they give you those step by step. I know I would say videos, but sometimes the videos can be different ways of explaining it. So reaching out to professors, I think, would be the first one, because they have just a wealth of knowledge that they can provide students, and that way really taking them through all of the steps at times and just kind of adding what they know from their experience. So being able to go through the motions of all of that, I think is really, really fundamental in terms of practical ways. And then also the second one would be to look at and just kind of do everything, or rather, I know everybody wants to become really proficient really quickly because there is a need for that. But I think part of it is just not being okay with just kind of going through the little steps, because I think it can be overwhelming if we're trying to get through so much learning at once that we don't want to cover even then the smaller steps at the start, which are going to be really just the foundation of you going forward. So I think those are the two things in terms of practical experience.
Yes, definitely. I would share that as well, since I had the pleasure of being with Dr. Binaja on my graduate classes, and that's how I learned about this software. The class itself and the presentation Dr. Binaja did for us was a basic presentation, but it's also you taking the lead on moving forward. If that's something that you're interested on, how can you continue developing that? There's plenty of resources online. You can reach out to professors. Faculty are great. They have many, many years of experience with technology, with software, with connections. So they're the experts on the field when it comes to what they're teaching for. And that's my encouragement. My practical tool is connect with your professors. Do a lot of research online. There's plenty of information out there where you can get it for free. It takes a lot of patience when it comes to data. Everybody has a different way to learn this, but how can this be beneficial for you when you start putting this into your resume? You want to make sure you have the basic learning of the software. You want to make sure that when you get that job offer, you know how to handle this software at a basic level. So thank you, Armando. Professor Binaja, do you want to give us one practical advice that you will give to someone that is beginning level with data analytics?
Again, hopefully my audio is working fine. Yeah, as I mentioned before, some of the areas of data science, to be honest, I mean, required a strong statistical background, mathematics, computer science, but there's many different areas. So if you try to start learning data analytics and data science from that area, I mean, you might feel overwhelmed. But try to start with a software that's intuitive, like Tableau. Today, I'll tell you about other options like Power BI and SAS that provide a very user-friendly interface. I mean, it's very intuitive. I mean, of course, it's always good to read the documentation, look at the guides, but the software is so easy to use that even someone without a strong mathematical background, it's able to analyze the data. So there's all different levels. So if you consider yourself a beginner, I mean, there's things you can learn. If you have a strong computer science background, there's things that you can learn. So it's a very broad field. So don't feel intimidated if it seems too complex at first. So that's my advice. And I would like to add, I forgot to mention in my when I answered the previous question, that our department is introducing a new data analytics certificate starting this fall. So it has been approved right now. They're in the process of updating the university catalog and including the details. But I wanted to give you an advance about it. So starting this fall, we're going to have this data analytics certificate. Right now, it's targeted for undergrad students. Any undergrad student in the university, you will need to take 3 courses in data analytics and data science to earn that certificate. So if your degree program has room for 3 electives, then you can get the certificate. So it's not just for computer majors, it's for any major across the university. But again, I mean, you'll see the details once the catalog for 2021, 2022 is it's released on the website. You'll see the details. Yeah. So, but I want to tell you about it so you keep an eye if you're interested. Um, yeah, I cannot give you the details right now because I would prefer that they post the official catalog first, but it'll be available starting this fall.
Thank you, Professor Pinaja. I'm super excited that that's been an option for students. It's been becoming very, it's been growing so much in the market and the workforce. So how can we advertise this to students to see what options they have so they can have the skills under their resume? I wanted to jump into, do you know what software, what programs are you guys going to be using for this certificate? I know you don't want to provide many details on that, but that leads into the next question that I have, and that will be the last question for this conversation. Students, if you have any questions, feel free to type those down. We'll be able to help you and answer the questions. This is my last question. What are some of the data software trends that are happening right now with 2021? Technology keeps advancing, and we have to keep advancing with technology. There's many softwares out there. What are some of the ones? I know the question before, the answer before any questions, anybody? Any comments on what would be the new trends for data analytics for 2021? How we're planning to move forward? What is it available? How are we going to be? I mean, organizations keep innovating. How can we stay on top of that? Right. So that's our key when it comes to learning a new skill, put it on your resume and be ready for that job offer and be ready to shine when it comes to you performing this kind of job. Any comments or last comments, Armando, Professor Pinaja?
Well, something I can highlight is that many of the providers are, I wouldn't say moving from the traditional desktop application to the cloud environment. They're still providing the desktop option, but many of these providers are focusing now on the cloud, because now you can connect on the cloud to powerful servers, very powerful servers that can process data in memory. They can process large amounts of data, big data, things that you cannot do in your personal computer. It would take forever in your personal computer. So today, I mean, we're showing you how to download Tableau to your desktop, and also you how to get some additional software. But I think if you want to take advantage of the full power of data analytics, the cloud, it's a better environment, because then you can connect to servers on the cloud with more options, more processing power. So that, I think that's the current trend.
Yes, definitely the cloud is something that that's innovation. We keep moving. We keep technology keeps upgrading, so we are behind them. We need to keep up with them, and we need to continue learning the new trends that are happening with data analytics. I want to thank you, Professor Benaja and Armando, for this conversation, and I'll pass it down to any questions before we pass it down to hands-on with the demonstration that Professor Benaja is going to do. I'll give it 1 minute 2 minutes so you can, if you have any questions, to feel free to type those down.
And maybe while people are typing, Yasmin, what I did want to add that's really neat that I've seen is that, for example, Tableau has this other, you can go on Google, on the internet and just look for Tableau Public. And there's a lot of people that post daily, and it just gives you inspiration about maybe some of the things that you can also do. Maybe not so much in trends as Dr. Binaka said, but more so just if you're looking to just work with other data that people post there. But I think somebody did post a question, so I'll go ahead and you field it.
So we have a comment. Is it a comment or a question? Cloud SQL servers give more knowledge to students. That would be a smart idea. So I believe it's a comment. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else on this meeting that would like to submit a question or comment? It's a comment. Thank you so much. Let me pass it down to Professor Binaha. You do have access to share your screen. We'll be here to learn from you. I'll pass it down to you.
Okay, well, once again, I apologize if, for my internet. It's acting up today. So hopefully my audio is clear. I'm going to turn off my video and see if that makes it a little better. Okay, well, our main focus today is Tableau. But on the side, I'm going to share with you a couple of other resources. Something else I can add is that all these providers, all these software providers, of course, they're fighting for the market share. And as part of the battle, they're providing free resources for students. So if you're a student, the good news is that these providers are kind of giving their software away. I mean, for free. Of course, the software is for academic purposes and not for profit. But as a student, you have access to pretty much all of it. So that's another reason to take advantage of it. So as long as you're a student, you can access all this software for free. Software that's worth thousands of dollars, you can use it for free. So let me start by sharing with you a link to activate Power BI on your University Office 365. All of you as students, you have access to the Office 365, to the University Academic Agreement, and Office 365 already comes with Power BI. You can download Power BI to your computer. You can download it for free, but you can also access it on Office 365. So let me share the link in the chat if you like to open it right now. Okay, if you open this link, it's going to show a screen like, yeah, it's going to look like this. Then type your university email address. You need to type it exactly as in the registration system. So it's case sensitive. So make sure that you type it exactly as it is. Then you click on sign up. You're going to see a couple of additional screens. And then eventually it's going to tell you that you already have an account. It's going to identify your university account. Then sign in, just like when you sign into your university email, and then you're going to see a screen like this. So in the waffle on the top left, you can see Word and Excel and Outlook. You'll see also Power BI. So again, follow the steps. I already activated my account, so I'm not going to go through the steps because it will take me to the screen, to Power BI. But go through the steps. If you have any questions, let me know. So basically, you're just activating Power BI in the Office 365 menu. So you already have Office 365. You already have access to Word, Excel, and PowerPoint and Outlook. So what we're doing right now is we're adding Power BI to the waffle, to the Office 365 waffle for your university account. Okay, any questions, anybody? No?
No questions. I'm monitoring the chat. Thank you.
Now, let me show you how Power BI looks like when you install on your computer. So for instance, here I have Microsoft Power BI Desktop. And you can go to microsoft.com/Power BI to download Power BI for free. Now, there's also Power BI Pro. Yeah, that one you have to pay for, but the desktop, the Power BI Desktop, you can get for free. So this is Power BI Desktop that you can download for free. Let me show you the website. If you go to microsoft.com/Power BI, you click on Start Free. And then here's the option to download Power BI Desktop for free. Oops. Well, probably the page is not available right now, but there's another link here. That's right. Okay, again, since we have limited time today, I'm just going to show you some of the options at the cloud version of Power BI. Power BI comes with some sample data sets to get you started. In your screen, once you're in Power BI, at the bottom, on the right, on the left, bottom left, you'll see a link to Get Data. If you click on Get Data, you'll be able to upload your own data. You can even upload data in Excel format or text files. You can also connect to databases, or you can just simply open the samples. So right here, you click on samples. So let me show you again. So first you click on Get Data. And then you click on Samples. So once you click on Samples, you're going to see 8 samples. There's a sample with customer data, human resource data, sales and marketing, and each sample comes with sample dashboards that you can explore.
Professor Binata, I think maybe
in my class, you should have access to this remote computer that already has Tableau and Power BI installed. So that's if you're in my class, then you should have access to this computer. But again, I mean, even if you have access to Tableau on this remote server, take advantage of downloading desktop for your own computer. Okay, let me show you how to create a sheet. For instance, how to create this map. I usually like to start with the maps because for me they're more visually impressive than the pies and the bars. Okay, so let's start with let's try to replicate this map. Okay, so a dashboard is made of sheets. Each one of those sheets can be a tabular report, or it can be a chart, like a bar chart, a pie chart, or even a map. Or let's start with a tabular report before we do the map, because the table is a little easier to get started with. Okay, so let's start by creating a new worksheet. This dashboard is already, it already has some data. I mean, I could show you how to connect to data, but to save time, I ask you to download this sample dashboard that already has data. But if you need to connect to data, let me show you. Let's say you open Tableau from scratch. From here, you can connect to Tableau server. This is the paid service that I told you about. You can upload a file. For instance, if you have data in Excel, in Microsoft Access, or even text, like data in comma separated values format, you can open a file, or you can also connect to a server. And if you look at the list, Tableau can connect to almost any type of data. So it talks almost every database format. You can connect to Oracle, you can connect to MySQL, you can connect to Microsoft, SQL Server, IBM, Teradata, you name it. So Amazon. So it connects to almost anything. And then after you connect to the data, you have to select the specific files you want to use, because a database may contain several files. Okay, so going back here. So here I'm already connected to these 3 data files, one that contains sales data, inventory data, and financial data. So Tableau calls the files tables. And then the file contains fields. So here you can see some of the fields. The fields that have a number sign are identified as measure fields. In other words, they're numeric fields that can be summarized that you can use for calculations. And as I said before, the interface is very intuitive. For instance, let's say I want to take a look at sale quantities, the number of items sold. I can drag quantity to my sheet and it will automatically show the total units sold. Next, if I want to see sales by product, by material, I can drag that field and set it either as the column header or as a row. So let's set it as a row. So now I can see sales for every product, or if I want the product to be the column header, I can move it to column, and now I see sales for each product. So that will be a table report. On the right frame, there's a menu to select different types of charts. For instance, if I want to use a pie chart, I can click on the pie, and that's going to turn the table into a pie chart. If I click on the bars, it will turn it into a bar chart. If I want a stacked chart, I can click on that, or a bubble, so, or a box plot. Okay, let me pause for questions. I would like to know how many of you were able to download the sample dashboard. If you could give me some feedback, I mean, if you were able to download it, okay. Okay, so now let's try to do a map now. So if you notice, to do a map, you need some geographical, some coordinates. In Tableau, it's able to identify the longitude and the latitude that's automatically generated as long as you have a field like city, country, zip code, state. So usually Tableau it's able to identify that that's a geographic field, but if not, you can always right click on the field and then you can change the data type or set it as a specific geographic role. Again, in most cases, Tableau does it automatically. It does a very good job of identifying that a city is a city or a zip code. But if in the rare case that Tableau is not able to identify your field as a geographic field, you can always set it here. So for instance, if that was a zip code, I would say this is a zip code, this is a state, this is a country. In this case, this is a city. So we have cities and we have countries. Now this is data from Germany. So you'll see that the cities are from Germany. Let me show you some of the data in a tabular format. So let's create a new worksheet. And let me drag the quantity. Notice how I'm using the sales file. Now I can drag, for instance, I can drag the country and set it as a row. All the cells are from Germany, so that's not going to help much. But then I can expand country and include the cities. So here I have the 3 cities. Now that I have the country, the city, and the sales, the quantities, notice how the map chart becomes enabled. You see, in the other chart that we created, okay, where's the chart? You see, in this chart, we have no geographic fields included. So that's why the map is disabled. But once you include a geographic field like country or city, Tableau automatically identifies that there's some geographic data and it allows you to turn this into a map. And now you can zoom out. You can zoom in. Okay. Pause. See any questions on how to turn the table into a map? Okay, right now it's displaying just one circle for the total sales for each city, but we can add additional fields. For instance, let's say I want to show a breakdown of sales for each city by product. Here the product is called material description. So what I can do is I can add material description, as you can see, and set it as a color. So notice how here I'm using the area, the region, and the country and the city. So you can add multiple fields to the marks area, this box here. For instance, let's say I want to show these circles as a pie. So each slice shows sales for each product. So what I can do is I can add the quantity one more time. So I'm going to drag the quantity again. So now it's listed 2 times. And the second time, I'm going to make it a slice. But then I need to change this into a pie. So you change this into a pie. And now you can set the quantity to be the angle. Okay, now we also want to show the products as slices of different colors. So what we can do is we can drag the material and set it as a color field. So let's do that. So we're going to drag the material description. And then from the drop list on the left, we're going to select color. So now you can see how the pie shows the different products the share of each product. Now, that circle is kind of small. You can agree, it's kind of tiny. So we can change the size of the overall circle by including the quantity as the size, like here. Now, right now, I need to point to the different slices to see the products. If you want to add more labels, you can just drag them to the marks area. For instance, let's say I want to add the city as a label. I drag it, and then from the drop list, I select label. So now it shows the name of the city next to the pie. If you want to increase the size of the circle, you click on size, and then you can increase it or decrease. You can also add tooltips. Instead of labels, you can also add tooltips. For instance, let's say I want to add the material type as a tooltip.
And Professor Vinaja, I did want to ask, there was a question in the chat.
Mhm.
The question is from Daniel and says, how accurate does Tableau identify the location? Because he's done something similar in Excel, but Excel only gives you certain percentage of accuracy, like 80 or 90%.
Yeah, that's a good question. Tableau is extremely accurate, especially for the United States. Its database contains data all the way to the zip codes, even streets. Now, when I was working on this chart for Germany, it was missing some of the cities, so I had to manually adjust them. Yeah, when Tableau does not identify a city or a zip code, it will highlight it for you, and you'll see that it wasn't identified. But at least as long for the United States locations, I mean, it's able to identify every single zip code. Now, actually, if you install Tableau, let me see if I can show you here. Tableau. When you install Tableau, one of the parts of Tableau that uses a lot of space on your computer, I'm going to be honest with you, it's the geographical database. Let me see if I can display some of these files. Yeah, they take lots of space. At one point in time, I had to delete some of those files because they were using a lot of space on my computer. Let me show you. Yeah, let's see right here. Look at this is the largest file. When you install Tableau, this is the largest file. So here I'm displaying all the files that Tableau installs from the largest to the smallest. Look at the largest file. It's a geocoding file. Yeah, but again, especially for the United States, geographical data is extremely accurate. Okay, I think we have about 10 minutes. So let me know if you have any questions. I mean, I could demonstrate more and more, but.
So, Professor, I wanted to ask, I know that Tableau, for example, has the story format. And for example, once students have created their specific, let's say, an analysis of something, how can they use the story format, or how would that be beneficial for them explaining something towards in their job or at school?
Let's see. Well, the story allows you to select a specific charts from your dashboard and prepare it's like a PowerPoint presentation of your dashboard. So while the dashboard is intended for users to manipulate, so users can access the dashboard and play with the data, the story is more like to give a presentation. So you drag a specific worksheets from your dashboard, and then you can add captions and yeah, it's more like a presentation. Because sometimes your dashboard, your workbook could have dozens of charts. But let's say I want to make a presentation focused on sales and marketing strategies, then I can emphasize those worksheets on my dashboard. Okay, there's another question. There's an easy way to go about doing presentations on non-Tableau computers. You want to present the info to the client, but the client doesn't have Tableau in the system. Oh, yeah, what you can do is you can upload the dashboard to Tableau Public, just like the one I shared with you. You can specify if you want people to download the workbooks or even change them. For instance, yeah, let me show you again my public account. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is my Tableau account. If you go back to my profile, well, not my profile, but the previous page. Yeah. So these are all the dashboards I have uploaded over these years. And I upload them so people can download them. You can also upload them so people can change them. So this is an easy way to share with, not just with the client, but with the entire world. If you go to Tableau Public, you can see things that people have uploaded. You see right here. Here's one about picture animation, and yeah, there's galleries here. I mean, lots of things that people upload. You can get ideas from here. More stories.
Professor, can you allow, this is another question, can you only allow certain people to see the data, or what are some of the privacy behind this? Do you know?
Well, public is public, as the name says. If you want to upload so only certain people can see it, then you have to use Tableau server. Yeah, and for that service, you have to pay. Let me see if I can show you online Tableau.com. So this is their paid service. And let me see if I can sign in.
So there is a possibility to save some data like in a PDF file or presentation to share with other, with your clients, we'll say?
Oh, just to create a PDF. Yeah, you can save it to PDF. You can save the charts. But if you want people to access the dashboard itself and play with the data, then they either have to download Tableau themselves, or you have to put it on the cloud.
And also to add on to that answer that Professor Vinahad gave, like you mentioned, let's say you share it with somebody that doesn't necessarily have Tableau. If once they open it, Tableau kind of installs a little plugin that lets them see it, but they wouldn't be able to play with the data. So it's more so to see it, but not to actually play with the data. Like Professor Vinahad said,
Yes. Yeah. So this is their paid service. Yeah. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is their paid service. You see here, I can create a list of users that can see my dashboards. I can specify what they can do, if I want them to just see it or be able to modify it, or people can share with me. So anything that's shared with you, you'll see here, share with you. This one, I mean, this service allows you to connect to live databases, so it will update automatically for you. So you don't need to be uploading and re-uploading. It connects to live data. Okay, since we only have a few minutes, let me quickly show you SAS. Okay, so this is SAS for learners. Oh, and by the way, SAS has lots of learning resources. They have videos, they have study guides. Yeah, I mean, so here's some of the certifications. You can also get certified. They have discounts for the certification exams. Okay, any other questions?
Yep, I don't see any questions yet. I know people might be typing, so I know that's why we're waiting a bit, but I don't see any questions yet.
We'll give it more minutes before closing out. Professor Binaja, I want to thank you. I appreciate the time you're spending with us and our students to get these resources. It seems like some of the students here were not aware of the free software that they're getting with their student accounts, which is something that is beneficial for them and they can later on apply those skills somehow on their workforce. So I appreciate your time connecting with us. We hope to see more sessions coming up like this for our students. And let me just double check. I'm going to reshare the attendance link for anybody that is here with us so they can submit their attendance. Any questions, feel free to type those down for Professor Binaja. Any questions? So thank you so much for joining us. We are, this is another link that I'm sharing with you on additional resources are available for you. This presentation is being recorded and it will be posted on YouTube channel. That way you can just go back and retake some notes. Maybe you are missing some links, some software. I can help you with that as well. You'll find that on YouTube channel. Any questions or concerns, make sure you connect with us. The May Center is here to help you out. If you already have some knowledge on who skills and softwares that you want to add to your resume, reach out to us so we can help you out and schedule that appointment with you. Any last minute questions for attendance or for Professor Binaja?
Well, I would like to add that if anybody needs tutoring or help installing the software or accessing the software, I mean, just email me. I mean, this is something I love. If you want more information about the data analytics certificate, it's not I can give you the details, but until they're not in the catalog, it's not like fully official. But again, you would take 3 courses. The first course is Python programming. Then you would take a programming for data analytics, another programming course. So it's 2 programming courses. And then in the third course, you would use both your programming background and other applications in the data science and data analytics program. The software we're planning to use, it's the software we demonstrated today, Tableau, Power BI, SAS, and in addition, of course, Python and some additional tools.
Great. Thank you, everybody. And we look forward to continue doing these events for you guys so you guys can continue learning new skills. A survey is going to go out to you on an email base. I appreciate any feedback that you can provide us. If you want to have desire for a different software, we can connect with some faculty to come and give you a demonstration on it. So we appreciate your feedback, and that email will be going out. The survey will be going out on an email basis. So make sure you double check your email account. Thank you, everybody. Have a good afternoon, everyone.